All right, it's 5:30, so let's call to order this meeting. Jordan, would you start us off with the roll call?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Faubourg. Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson. Econger.
Present.
Nilsson.
Present.
Norvstrup. Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business here tonight will be to approve this week's meeting agenda. I take a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion Econger, second Knopstrup. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes from last week's meeting, which took place on January 20th. I take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Nilsson, second Liebelt. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got Henry Carlson Construction in our consent calendar as a new sidewalk contractor license. That is our only item of consent calendar business, so I would take a motion to make that approval.
So moved. Second.
Motion Econger, second Nilsson. If there's no discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Old business. First item is the second reading and final adoption of an ordinance titled 260101, which amends the taxi cab motor bus regulations. Ron, have you heard anything? Has there been any public input or any other considerations to be made before we take our second vote from last week?
Mayor, administration has received no comments regarding that. We'd recommend approval for second reading. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion Nilsson, second Liebelt. Anyone have any final thoughts before we take a final vote on ordinance number 2, or ordinance number 260101? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that second reading?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got a possible second reading and final adoption of another ordinance. It's titled 260102, which amends solid waste collection regulations. We talked a little bit about that last week and took our first vote. Ron, anything new as it relates to that?
No, Mr. Mayor, we recommend approval.
Move to approve.
All right, we've got a motion from Nilsson and a second from Knopstrup. Does anyone on the council have anything to add before we take our second roll call vote? Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion carries. Possible approval, second reading and final adoption of ordinance 260103, which supplements the 2026 budget for unanticipated projects, activities, and expenditures. Jordan.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no changes to the ordinance. I would clarify the funding sources were identified on a supplementing ordinance explanation sheet. Staff recommends approval as presented.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Liebelt. And we had a conversation or two in the meantime. One of the funding sources that was listed was the CARES Act reserve, which we had earmarked for other purposes, and it sounds like it shouldn't be a problem not to draw from that. That's the case, and we can just make clerical note of that before we take this vote. So we would be down to the general reserves and those budget cuts from other departments. Is that correct and suitable there, Jordan?
Seems appropriate to me, yes.
All right, sounds good. Got our motion, got our second. Anyone else have anything on this one? Okay, Jordan, would you give us a roll call?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion carries. New business, possible approval of a proposed distribution schedule for our 26 promotional funds. Jordan, would you walk us through that expectation?
Thank you, Mayor. As I've communicated in the previous meetings, we ended the 2025 calendar year with a surplus of funds within the promotion fund. Per our 2025 promotion fund policy, I am to inform the city manager and council of this balance, and based on that, we are to come up with a plan to disperse those to the desired level. Just to go over the numbers here, our target balance is between $145,000 to $200,000. Our estimated year-end balance is roughly $660,000. We had $50,000 in commitments to the city and $65,000 for Storybook Land that we have not yet made. So that would pull our number down to $550,000 at year-end. Our target reserve balance is $200,000. So that would mean we have approximately $350,000 available for subsequent allocation. At your last meeting, moments ago, we passed an ordinance that provides expenditure authority to do that. What I'm proposing within this is to request authorization to spend down the existing fund balance on current year obligations, funding that you've committed to last year as part of the promotion fund, to use those to spend it out so that we can pay those entities we've already committed funds to before we take on new commitments. So this is doing that. It utilizes the reserve balance of roughly $550. We'll expend roughly $507 once we get authorization and proof of audit requirements, and then we'll be able to disperse that extra $350 later this summer. So with that, staff recommends approval.
And Jordan, that extra $350 specifically has not been allocated to any particular. That decision needs to be made between now and then.
That's correct, and staff would most likely recommend a application process in June or July.
Great. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, Ronayne. Second, Econger. Any questions for the finance director as it relates to that process? All right, then all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks for moving that forward, Jordan. Hopefully we find some good use for those funds. Next, we've got a possible approval of a surplus of a canine equipment. We've got our police chief, John Dahl, here joining us with that. Canine equipment, what are we looking to get rid of?
Hi, thank you. So with the retirement of canine Nico last year, we allow we've got it in our policy that we allow the canine handler to retain some of those items for the retirement of the animal. So specifically, those items are a kennel and a couple other care items for the remainder of his retirement. And we'd recommend approval on that.
I'd move to approve. I'll second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Nilsson, second Councilman Econger to transfer the ownership of those dog-related materials to the owner of and handler of that canine. Is there anyone with any questions for the police chief on this? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks, Chief. Next, we've got a possible approval resolution 260102R that continues the designation of the Insider as the official newspaper for the city. We'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion Liebelt, second. Knobstrup, not a heck of a lot of options, and they do a good job, so I think that there's probably not a heck of a lot of discussion to be had there. Is anyone have anything to offer before we take a vote? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward. Councilmember Ward. Councilmember Ward.
Going to ask if anyone did
Sounds like
ventriloquism.
an aye.
Yeah, that would have been.
Councilmember Nilsson.
Aye.
Nordstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next.
Do I get to vote?
Councilmember Econger, excuse me.
Aye. Thank you.
He thought you had something against the paper and he wasn't gonna rub your face in it.
Quite the opposite, actually.
All right, next we've got a possible approval. Pay request number 3. It is for the water tower transmission line. It's $520,552.50. Paid to Landmark Structures out of Texas. Stu went over there and took a look. Looks like it's coming up.
Yep, they're making progress, slow but sure. But it is going up, getting higher, so it's exciting to watch. So the staff would recommend approval of this pay request.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Econger. Any questions? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that payment?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, that motion carries as well. Next, we got a possible approval to recommend bids for the 2026 water treatment plant roof improvement. Stu, are you going to walk us through that? I see we also have our treatment plant manager here as well.
Yes, I brought reinforcements in case the questions get too difficult, so.
Fair enough.
So we got one bid on this proposed project, and it was for, we had kind of estimated that the full cost of this was going to be around 1.2 to 1.3 million. And so obviously a bid of 1.5 is a little bit more than that. However, working with that contractor, we were able to identify about $220,000 in deducts. We'll change the thickness of the membrane that's used on there's 2 buildings out there. The old building, which will be kind of a more traditional built-up roofing system, and then the new building is going to be a KEE membrane, which should work really well for that building. But we're going to change the thickness of that membrane a little bit, reduce the cost there, and a couple other smaller cost-saving measures, and take that $220,000 out, as soon as we get the contract signed, and we'll get down to that $1.3 million range, which, given the kind of the dire need for this, the roofs on both of those buildings are in pretty tough shape. So Jim was just mentioning to me that last year, I think, what'd you say, about $15,000? I can't remember the number. $35,000 of equipment that got damaged in the old building this year. So
From leakage from the
leakage,
roof.
yep. So the staff recommends that we approve this bid and get going on this project.
I will move to approve that.
Second.
Motion Liebelt and second Nilsson. Where does the money come from, Stu?
So the money's coming out of mainly the Water Enterprise Fund. We did set aside a little bit of money through the Special Sales Tax Fund as well to help offset some of this cost.
And there will be a contract which stipulates that deduction of the 220 at that point.
Right. As soon as we complete the signing all the contract documents, then we'll issue a change order to reduce the total contract price down to that 1.35 million.
Thank you for that clarification. I
think
appreciate
we did something similar to this with the water tower. We had identified some value engineering stuff there and did the same thing.
All right, we got a motion in a second. Does anyone from the council have any
Mr.
thoughts?
Mayor,
Go ahead. Talmadge.
I was just wondering, the reduction in thickness on the membrane, does that have an appreciable impact on life expectancy of it?
So, yeah, I don't know about life expectancy. We're going to end up going from I have to look here. We're going to end up going from a 25-year warranty down to a 20-year warranty because of doing that. Based on my practical experience, I see that these roof systems should last anywhere from 25 to 30 years. So with proper maintenance, we should be able to, make sure that it lasts quite a bit longer than what the warranty period is. And then also in the new building, we're installing a leak detection system along with this so that if we do end up with some leaks, we'll be able to pinpoint where they are and then make those repairs, so we're not looking at, you know, this kind of catastrophic failure that's happened with that roofing system.
Sure. Thank you.
And both buildings have like an EPDM type of a roof structure.
The old building has more of a traditional built-up roofing system where the insulation is put down and then they put a coating over that and cover it with a rock ballast.
But that'll be replaced.
Yep, and that'll be
what
a
it is.
new, it'll be the same kind of a roof system on that building as we have now. You know, looking at plans for the future for that building, it probably, its days are gonna be numbered. You know, we'll be, eventually that building will be eliminated out of the, and it should be before the end of the life of this roof. So I don't know that it makes sense to spend, you know, double the cost essentially and end up with a building that we're not going to be using before the life of the roof runs out.
Fair enough. Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, review and approval of our claims and payroll. Payroll period is from January 11th through the 24th of January, as well as all the associated fees that one pays when they hire employees. Take a motion to pay the bills.
Motion to pay item 8, both A and B on the bill review.
Second.
We've got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt and a second from Councilman Econger. Pay our bills off here today. Jordan, would you give us the final roll call vote of the evening?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Our city manager is off seeking medical dental services here tonight, so he was not able to join us with the city manager's report, but I would say that one thing that I would like to at least make mention of is thanks to our street works department for getting out there in the creek. They started their digging process today after some preparatory work that they had been doing in the last week or so to get that thing ready to excavate, and we've got one excavator there today and another tomorrow, so
Yep.
should be up to full steam. I'm excited to see the progress and keep an eye on that.
The guys are really ready to dive into this, so they're looking forward to getting the work done too.
Perfect. Yep. I'm glad to see it, and the city is really glad to see it. I've heard from quite a few people already, so appreciate that hard work, guys. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion Nordstrom, second Nilsson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.